Hey everybody, I'm Dougal Fraser, author, psychic, and life coach. Just hopping on here to say hello because there was something that I have to talk about. So I'm absolutely shocked that over 80% of you said yes to a question that I presented yesterday. I did an Instagram story and a Facebook story. Well, they were a poll technically because I wanted to ask one particular question. And I asked everybody that was interacting with me, in the past 2 years, have you noticed a shift with your relationship since the pandemic, since 2020? 81% of you responded yes. 81% of you. Now, math is not my skill set, but 81% to me seems like a lot. I was totally shocked by that. And what's interesting to me is, well, I was kind of expecting 50%, maybe 50, 60%, because I thought, all right, maybe 1 out of every 2 would be having a similar experience. But 81% of you said yes, 81% of you. First of all, I have to say I found that very validating because I certainly have had that experience recently. If you have had that experience, I know 81% of you had, maybe you've been feeling alone, maybe there was something that was going, you thought it was just you, but now we know that 81% of people said yes. So let's talk a little bit as to why that is. So relationships, especially for sensitive people, for light workers, for empaths, for HSPs, relationships mean a lot to us. They're our foundation. We walk the planet with our heart first. We want to connect with people on an emotional level. So it's very, very normal to sort of welcome people into our space. But then what I've noticed with sensitive people and with empaths in particular is they go through a lot of disappointment in relationships. Now, I have literally read for thousands of people. I've done thousands of readings for people all over the world. So I see relationship dynamics not only in my own life, but in the lives of other people at the same time. And one of the things that I've noticed is that within our aura, within our energy field, there are sort of layers of relationships that present themselves to us. Now, we're so used to hearing terms like soulmate and soul group that as people that walk the planet with open hearts, we oftentimes will usher people in to that level of intimacy without really thinking about it, without really listening to our intuition, without really starting to notice the energy patterns of what's really going on. And this is why I created my new system, the Soul Group system. I've noticed these layers of relationships, and there are sort of 3 key layers of relationships. People that you interact with on a daily basis. Sometimes it's family members, sometimes it's coworkers, sometimes it's a spouse, sometimes it's a legacy friend, someone that you've known for a really long time. Sometimes it's just a really close friend. But oftentimes we misunderstand what it means to have someone be a part of our soul group. And when the pandemic happened, when 2020 happened, and we all went inside of our beings, we had to sort of cocoon, we had to hibernate, we had to disconnect from the world. It offered this sort of opportunity to re-examine who we are as emotional and spiritual beings. And then more importantly, when the doors started opening up again and we were connecting with the world again, it did make us question, what exactly is it that I want in relationships and what exactly is it that I am looking for? And this is why you've probably seen some relationships fall away. Maybe some relationships in your life became stronger and more intimate and more connected. But on a global scale, it was like the entire planet, the entire world was literally renegotiating their soul contracts. You know, every time we have an experience with someone, there are verbal contracts of sort of what we talk about and what we need in a relationship. But I also believe that there are soul contracts. This is a concept that's been taught about for a long time. There are books about it. But the sort of spiritual understanding of what the energy exchange is going to be between a group or 2 people or people in a romantic relationship. And I believe in the past 2 years, nearly 3 years, we all started renegotiating those. So you may have found that when you came out into the world again and you were connecting with people and socializing with people, some of your relationships just kind of quietly fizzled. Maybe you had dramatic changes. You know, maybe you were, for lack of a better word, locked up with someone for a couple of months and thought, oh dear, this is not exactly what I was looking for. Maybe a new relationship manifested for you and you had a beautiful experience because you started to get clarity in what it is that you want. But it's interesting to me that nearly 81% of you said that, yes, you've noticed a change in your relationships. I find that incredibly powerful. When collectively we're going through something that we can all relate to, when collectively we're moving through a similar energy, there's great power and there's great wisdom there. So I wanted to hop on here and say, first of all, you're not alone. If you've noticed a shift in your relationships, this is completely normal. If this has been presenting questions or confusion for you, you don't need to do that, because now we know 81% of people, at least in this community, at least in this world, 81% of people are going through exactly the same thing. But we can use that as fuel to strengthen our relationships. Think of it as a perfect opportunity to start getting clear in who you are and what you want. Think of it as a perfect opportunity to sort of do some emotional inventory. Maybe there's a relationship that's been in your life that's just not serving you, and you know that, but you've had a hard time admitting it. Now is the time to sort of make a shift in perspective, change your energy, be super clear in what you want so that your heart is uplifted. So this September 18th, Sunday, this is why I'm doing my new masterclass called the Soul Group System. What I want to talk about is the different layers of relationships that come into our life, to understand what we can get from specific layers of energy, how we can thrive in those relationships, and as sensitive people, not to get lost in the energy and the needs of other people, because I really feel like that's a key component. At least it is for me. You know, my entire life, my entire day is based on connecting with clients from all over the world and sort of tuning into what their heart needs are. In the past, that has made it challenging for me to figure out, well, what do I need to feel validated? What do I need to feel connected? So part of this program is giving you the tools that I've learned to create healthy and thriving relationships in my life. All different kinds of relationships. I've been with my husband for 20 years now. So I like to think I've got some, good information and wisdom connected to soulmate relationships. I've got work relationships that I've had for years that are thriving in equal exchange of energy. I've got super, super dear friends and healthy family relationships as well. But it didn't come to me naturally. I had to read the energy of myself. I had to observe the energy of other people, see how relationships play such a pivotal role in our life, right? Some of the deepest healing that we can go through is from really powerful relationships and even challenging relationships as well. Those relationships that sort of, poke at your shadow side. Those relationships that reflect things back to you, that need healing, that need a little extra TLC. Those challenging relationships can be incredibly beneficial. So that's why this Sunday, I'm going to be doing a workshop, not even a workshop, it's really a talk about relationships. It's 90 minutes. It's only $22. What? Let me repeat myself. It's only $22. And we've got lots of information to help you understand the soul dynamic when it comes to relationships in your life. I really think we're brought to this planet to connect with each other. One of the beauties of being here is listening and encouraging and empowering others, and then ultimately having the same energy exchange for ourselves. Because when our heart is in a state of balance, every single aspect of our life thrives. So if you agree with this, that yes, you are one of the 81% of people that has noticed in the past 2.5 years, or a little over 2.5 years, some of your relationships have changed and you felt a little bit confused, you are not alone. My advice to you is to use this as an opportunity to redefine and get super, super clear in what it is that you want in a soul group so that you feel balanced and you feel connected. If you're curious about taking an even deeper dive into this with a live program with lots of people of like-minded consciousness, click here. It's somewhere. I think it's below me, or maybe it's even above me. Actually, I think it's above me. Click above here and check out the Soul Group System. It's this Sunday. Hey, if you can't join us live, don't worry. We'll send you a full replay right after. And we're going to dive in to talk about relationships to make sure that everybody's heart is thriving. I hope you're having an incredible day. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.